to talk about the eclipse season because today is starting and it's like so much happening right now because we do have first the eclipse from the 17th of February until the 30th of March. Then we do have Saturn and Neptune entering the sign of Aries at the 0 degree, being in conjunction. And then we do have also like this very interesting like Sun-Uranus square happening right now, which is going to be like amplified in April and May when Uranus is going to leave the sign of Taurus and be in the sign of Gemini. And this year, the astrology of this year is just like so crazy. And I feel like I had like so many things in my mind I wanted to talk about that kind of like all of my thoughts were spiraling and I couldn't really get to the grasp of what I wanted to say. So I'm trying to just like I don't know, just like say whatever comes to my mind right now, and then I will try to structure my thoughts more over the next weeks. So one thing I wanted to talk about is like how we can get the most out of eclipse season, because a lot of people are afraid of eclipse season. They'd be like, oh my god, it's like an energy which is like so demonic, or it's an energy where you should not manifest, or it is an energy where, you know, it's so difficult to manifest because you cannot manifest because everything happening right now is karmic energy. And for one thing, I agree that the eclipse season can have a very like karmic spot or energy which you cannot really control. I would say it's more about like controlling things. You're not able to control things because it is like usually like you walk through life, but then eclipse season is like you run through life or you are being pushed into life. So when you're working, you are kind of like able to control your steps. You know, you can be like, I'm going like forward, or I'm going on the left or on the right, or I'm going backwards, you know. But during eclipse season, I feel like you're kind of like jumping. So when you jump, you kind of can control where you're going to jump, but it's not like you're actually like controlling it, or like you're running, but like everything is going so fast that you are not actually able to control things, right? So this is like about eclipse season where I'm like, okay, yeah, you're being pushed into this whole new life, into this whole new identity of yours, which you cannot like fully control. And so manifesting can become a hard thing during that way. However, I do believe that every culture, every religion, every spiritual like practice is somehow interconnected. And what we also have during eclipse season is Ramadan. And Ramadan is the holy month for Muslims. And during Ramadan, you are definitely allowed to pray and make dua. And one thing about Islam is that dua is kind of like what we would call manifesting in the spiritual community. So you are encouraged during the last 10 days, and in general, you're always encouraged to make dua, to make prayers, to pray for the things you want, you know. So when it is allowed in Islam to make dua during Ramadan, which is happening during the eclipse season, how can it be that you're not allowed to manifest? Like, this is like in my mind, I always kind of like try to interconnect different religions, different spiritual practices, and I'm like, you should be able to manifest during eclipse season. However, I would say like be very open during eclipse season, because one thing about Ramadan as well is like that you oftentimes will feel like rock bottom right before Ramadan, and then during Ramadan you have kind of like this energy of the catharsis energy. And this is what I also believe eclipse season can about like clearing things out in your life, clearing things out. And it's going to be about clearing things out in a very harsh way. Like, for example, you're going to get fired somehow, or you're going to lose that job, or you're going to lose your true love, or you're going to lose things that you were not expect losing. And it can also come with like death and other very bad things, which is not about like saying it's just clearing out the bad things. It's about like you're being forced to step into a new habitat and into a new weather. Like, I like to think about astrology being the weather, the seasons, right? And during eclipse season, we are kind of like pushed forward to a new season, where it's, for example, not sunny anymore, but it's like rainy now, or just like a new temperature. Like, until now, we were like in a certain season, a certain energy in our eclipse season is pushing us in a very like harsh way into this completely new season. And this season, your body does not feel comfortable yet, okay? It does not feel comfortable because things are maybe going to happen which are going to force you to feel uncomfortable, okay? For example, if you have been in the cold for so long, getting into the heat can be uncomfortable as well. Like, it's not about that this new weather is bad or better or worse than the other. It's about it's new. So even though you felt maybe bad in the old weather, like as I said, it was just cold and you were freezing the whole time, now heat is nothing which is going to feel comfortable for you, because your body will have to get used to being in the warmth again. Your body has to be used to be in the cold again, like depending on what kind of temperature you were feeling before. So what I do believe is that you have to think about eclipse season being something like very fated, very like neutral in a way, like not bad or good. Bad things can happen, good things can happen. But then again, like what is bad, what is good is a matter of perception. Like, and we believe that, we as humans believe that death is something like bad, but actually, like when you think about religions and spirituality, like this life on earth, just like this bit of what's supposed for you to be. Like after this life, there's still something there, you know, like it just, this life is just like not worth anything, you know. So basically saying that even like death from a different kind of like perspective or perception is not bad, you know. So this is what I'm trying to say, is just try to see eclipse season as something like more neutral. And then when you get into eclipse season, right, when you get into this like energy, you know, it's going to feel more like comfortable, because it's more like you being the observer of how the weather is changing, and then your body kind of like has to get used to it after a while, and will get used to it, trust me. But you have to be open. You cannot, you know, if you have been in the cold for so long, you cannot get into the hot weather still wearing your winter jacket, right? So what you have to do is, like, if you were in the cold and now you're getting into this like very like warm hot weather, if you still keep your winter jacket on, you will sweat. But if you kind of like try to adapt to this new environment, to this new energy, and you kind of like slowly take off your winter jacket, then your body can adapt to this like new weather and new season and new circumstances, and you are allowing yourself to enter that era. But a lot of you guys, you will like prefer having this like winter jacket on during summer just because you got so much used to it, you know, just because you're afraid of like taking it off. And then you're going to complain about like sweating or everything being so hot, but the thing is that you were like keeping on your winter jacket. So I recommend to you to kind of like just adapt to the energies. And then when this is what I'm saying, like why you can actually use this very strong eclipse season to like jump into the direction you want to jump, like to do this like kind of like quantum leaping into your new identity, is because I believe this energy is so strong that when you kind of like try to just run with it, jump with it, align to it, you're actually able to get ahead like 10 times faster, because eclipse season is about like always being kind of like a trailer for the next year, the next month, specifically the eclipse season happening in August, September. But even this eclipse season, I would say there's like a smaller, kind of like a smaller trailer for the next year, which is going to happen to you. So I would say, yeah, take a risk, try to see what's happening, go with the flow, don't think so much about like the outer world, like kind of like try to fix your inner world more by like adapting to what's happening outside. And then you can kind of like use this energy to kind of quantum leap. To give you kind of like an example, season is still happening on the Virgo Pisces axis, and Pisces is being connected to the North Node, which is going to represent the things we are heading towards, and Virgo is representing the South Node, so it's going to show us the things we are detaching from. So Pisces as an earth node still happening during eclipse season is going always to teach us to listen to the signs which are invisible, to listen to prayers, to meditate. It's also going to represent to us that things can be shown to you in a very like subtle way, like for example angel numbers, other signs, your dreams, like everything which is like kind of like hidden. You just like walk through the world, try to work with open eyes. Try to see meaning in the little things. You know, they can actually help you, like showing you what's going to happen. And then also like social networking, like we will have specifically like today this energy in the sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is representing the collective. Aquarius is representing digital energy. Aquarius is representing networking, social things, humanitarian things. So you will even like feel this like new signs or like invisible like hidden agenda, hidden symbols when you are kind of like networking with people. Like probably like you kind of like get different vibes from different people. Like I would really suggest you to look up where you have Aquarius in your chart and see like how the universe is going to communicate to you. For example, if you have Aquarius in the 10th house, you maybe will experience this like subtle changes like in the work environment, like on your career path, or like even how people perceive you online. Or for example, if you have it in the 4th house, you really need to connect with your family members. Maybe like they're going to show something about you which was hidden for a while and which you're going to see and kind of like be able to rewire your brain or like rewire everything which is going to happen. Aquarius also represent the future. So when we think about Aquarius being the ruler of or being ruled by Uranus and Saturn, Saturn always represents the timeline, right? Saturn is the lord of time, and so Saturn entered the sign of Aries, joining Neptune just like yesterday. So basically, as Saturn is kind of like giving you a new timeline, and this new timeline, Saturn, you know, in Aries, like Aries, the beginning of the zodiac sign, it's like birthing a new timeline, which is connected to Neptune, which represents fogginess, dream, illusion, chaos. So it's going to give us like a new timeline, which is going to be represented through a very chaotic dreamless energy. So basically saying when Saturn and Neptune are conjuncting, you will be able to follow your dreams. Neptune, you will have the courage, you know, because Aries represents the courage to follow your dreams. But Saturn is going to give this energy some sort of like stability, structure, and discipline. So I actually like this conjunction on a personal level because it can help you like see through the fog and can help you to build structure wherever you have Aries in your chart. All right. And as I said, like it's going to be this kind of combination of like, you know, trusting more into things, you know, trusting in your abilities, trusting in the structure, trusting in your own like ability to create things, because Aries is all about being the creator. Aries is literally a representation of creating things from nothing, because Aries is birthed out of the realm of Pisces, and Pisces represents nothingness and chaos, and then Aries comes and gives birth. So basically it's like birthing things out of nothing, and Saturn is able to give the structure to that. All right, so just like going a bit through the zodiac signs. I'm just doing this shortly because I hate doing this. I kind of like get always so bored, but I know you guys love that, so I'm just like doing this for you. For Aries, it's going to be all about identity, you know, like you will have the Saturn Neptune conjunction in the first house, so it's all about like new beginnings. I would also say it's about like how you make decisions, you know, making decisions, presenting yourself, being more stable. There's going to be some serious decisions which you are going to make, and this is like all about like you rewiring your identity, and it's going to make you more mature. You will come out of this eclipse season way more mature and being able to combine rationality with intuition in a way. All right. Taurus, for you, it's going to be in the 12th house, so it's going to be the subconscious. You know, I believe that you're going to be able to rewire your subconscious. You maybe are going to face some shadows and some demons, but you maybe also like get out of this eclipse season in a way where you kind of like are able to deal with that better. You're able to deal with isolation better. You know what you're going to hide. You know to not trust everyone. You know that you're not going to share everything you are doing. You kind of like are gaining some new trust in God, and you can actually like really rewire your subconscious more. Like I have like people knowing, I know people who have like Taurus, who are Taurus risings, and they deal a lot with anxiety, or they deal a lot with like having a psychosis from time to time. And you now with this energy, you're able to kind of like really rewire your subconscious. I would really recommend to you to kind of like think about like how you're sleeping and really like clear up your sleeping schedule. All right. Then for Gemini, you're just going to be in the 11th house. For you, it's going to be really about like networking, long-term goals, long-term interests, long-term wishes, you know, like what do you want to achieve long-term? And after this eclipse season, you probably are going to have like a new kind of like network or new dreams and new wishes, and you're going to be more clear about that. Then for Cancer rising, it's all about like your career path and how people are kind of like perceiving you in a way. So like how the public is perceiving you, but also like how authorities are perceiving you. So after this eclipse season, I could see you like as someone who knows how to step into the authoritarian side of yourself, and still knows how to be gentle, and also like knows how to deal with authorities. And maybe like if you're like online, social media, whatever, your public image, like the way you present yourself towards the world, in a way is going to be more stable, you know, more structured. And then for Leo rising, for you, it's going to be in the 9th house. So it's going to be all about like, you know, your belief system, your learning, studying, traveling. So for you, like maybe like still things are confusing about like what kind of like study path you want to go, or like do you want to learn something new, or how your beliefs are, like how your philosophical beliefs are, basically. So for you, it's going to be a great time to kind of like think about that, and maybe like after this eclipse season, you will think about like life differently. You will have like a new kind of like philosophy about things, but also you might have like a clearer travel schedule. So for some of you, it might be like clearing out what you want to study, or like clearing out where you want to travel next, or like just clearing out the whole of your beliefs. And things can get more serious about like you learning new things, right? Then for Virgo rising, it's going to be all about like finances, like 8th house energy. So it's either going to be about like shared resources. Maybe you're moving in with a partner and then you need to share your resources. Maybe you are kind of like fixing or fixating, or like stabilizing certain relationships. Like the eighth house can be about stabilizing a previous relationship, so you're getting like closer or more intimate with someone, about like other people problems, other people resources. So you maybe have to deal with it. Maybe you're going to be the therapist for like a month or something for other people, or maybe you're going to, you know, like fix your own finances in a way. So I would recommend you not spending too much, but like kind of like fix your energy, fix your resources, fix whatever you are like giving to people, but also what you're getting from people in a way. And be careful about not a lot being kind of like exploited during that time. A lot of people can kind of like call you and be like, you know, can you help me? And yes, so for Libra rising, it's going to be in the seventh house, which is all about like relationships and commitments. Usually a time where people maybe like get a new important contract, or they get out of a contract, or they are stepping into like a new relationship, or like their current relationship is going to a testing phase. It's all about like committing to a new kind of contract, whether it's business wise or romantic wise. So after this eclipse season, I assume you're going to get to be more clear in how you are going to commit into a contract, business wise or romantic wise. For what's coming after Libra? For Scorpio rising, okay, it's the sixth house, so it's all about like work and daily schedule. So it's about like you after this eclipse season, so after like, you know, in March somewhere, like mid of March, you're going to be more clear about like how you're going to organize your daily schedule. Daily schedule may force you to be more disciplined now, and may force you to be less afraid of things in a way, and just like do things like in a disciplined way. And yeah, so just keep going. I would I recommend to you like just use this eclipse season to kind of like lock in a way. I think this is something that you need to do, and just like do the work you have to do. And after this eclipse season, I feel like there might be some kind of like relief going on there, and like your new schedule is kind of like being adapted into your life, right? So it's also like about like creating boundaries during your everyday routine. So really like fixate on what's important, prioritize what you need to get done, so that after the eclipse season you feel like this new schedule you were kind of like implementing is going to help you to continue your life. Then for Sagittarius rising, it's going to be in the fifth, so it's all about like romances, having fun, and relationships. I would recommend to you to think about like what you love, like whether it's children, romances, business, whatsoever your hobbies, and kind of like how you can make things seriously. So I could see some of you like getting into a hobby and making it something like a business out of it, or getting really serious about it, or like showing to the world like who you really are, and not stop limiting yourself and your self-expression, okay? Because the shares can love multiple things, and you need to kind of like own that, and don't limit yourself in your own identity, you know? Also about like relationships, usually like maybe like an ex can come back, or like people, you know, might call you again from the past lovers, whatsoever. Be careful to kind of like hold your boundaries, and do not excess too much when it comes to having fun and activities. Try to be serious about that as well. And then for Capricorn rising, it's going to be in the fourth house, so it's all about like family matters, about home environment. So maybe like we are going like, you know, to confront yourself with your past, with your childhood, or like with some family members. And maybe there is going to be like this new home coming in a way, like either like you kind of like create a new home for yourself internally, or you kind of like create a new home for yourself physically, and like kind of like create the dream home for yourself, and kind of like let go a bit of the past. You know, you might be confronted with the past, with your childhood trauma in a certain way, but then again, it's all about like, you know, it's about new beginnings in a way. So it's also like about creating this like new home where you kind of like can cut off your trauma and create this like new inner life for yourself. Oh my god, I hope you're not hearing the drums here, because it's like Independence Day of Kosovo today, and so people are kind of like drumming around. Well, bit for background music. And then Aquarius rising is going to be for you in the third house, so it's all about like, you know, how you communicate. So maybe you want to start a new project where you kind of like want to create something, like write a book, for example, or like something long term, which is going to help you how to communicate. It can also be that you're going to build a new structure in your daily life, for example, new habits, or also like if you're someone who kind of like has to go from one place to another for work, you know, like traveling around a bit, but like in short-term traveling, not like long-term traveling. It can be kind of like part of your like own business, like of your regular life, like traveling or like short-term traveling can be part of your regular life from now on. And after the eclipse season, I think you're going to be someone who's better at setting your boundaries, better at communicating. You can actually like use communication as like a big skill after this eclipse season. And also, like as I said, like work on long-term projects, whether it's like writing, whether it's like social media, whether it's like something even creative, or kind of like create something new, which is all about like your ideas. Like really be like, for you I would say, like really listen to the ideas you're having during eclipse season, because they can be something which you can use as a long-term project. And then last but not least, Pisces rising, you have this conjunction in the second house, which is all about like finances and energy. So it's all about like you being able to make money out of like new things, like for example having this like new money identity, like having like a new financial schedule, having new financial plan, but also like kind of like seeing like how much you kind of like being paid, like maybe you have been paid too little in the past and now you kind of like need to raise your price. Like think about this like Saturn Neptune conjunction about a bit like being more brave when it comes to like raising your prices, and not only like speaking about money but also speaking about like energy, like setting boundaries when it comes to energy. And for the creative Pisces out there, you're kind of also like able to find new like creative Neptunian spiritual ways to make money as well. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I don't have so much akku in this camera. I'm already saying goodbye. Bye bye.